Considering Sharjah or any other location to invest in, one of the key characteristics is to look at the track record and the credibility of the developer. We look at a lot of the large master plans, particularly those in perhaps slightly remote locations. The ability to deliver that product is essential. Your unit, your investment is part of a bigger picture, so we have to look at the wider thing, and track record is something always that an investor should consider. The other thing that an investor should consider is how the unit is being paid for, your own personal situation. Are you using mortgage funding? And if you are, the source of that mortgage funding is essential to work out where that's coming from. I say that because liquidity in the bank finance markets is getting tougher. And so more and more banks are looking at not only your own personal circumstance, but also the credibility, the reputation, and the deliverability of the developer. So again, when looking at any of these investments, it's essential that you check that out. The other thing to do when looking at the return or your own personal intention of the unit, look at how you tend to get a revenue. Are you going to lease the property? Are you going to looking for capital growth? All of these things are important. What we would say is that investment returns perhaps in Sharjah and some of the other Northern Emirates are perhaps slightly off compared to Dubai and Abu Dhabi. That's to reflect the risk around resale, the risk around sort of leasing and leasing voids. That doesn't mean they're unacceptable. It just means they're a slightly different risk profile to those within Dubai and Abu Dhabi. So from a CBRE standpoint, obviously we have offices all over the world. We carefully monitor the global real estate trends. Some of the trends that we're seeing at the moment, that we're actually having an impact locally in the residential sector, co-living. We're seeing a lot of innovation coming, particularly in the co-living sector, which I think we're going to implement here, reducing the cost of living for a number of people, but also collaborating in the workspace. So co-working is another trend that we've had the WeWorks, we've had the likes of these guys globally. They're starting to look at this market, how they can come in and how they can capitalize on the expansion here. Some of the other sectors that we're seeing significant change, if we look at retail and e-commerce, obviously we're spending a disproportionate amount of our retail spend now on the internet and other digital retailing. That's having an impact not only on our shopping centres but also on our distribution and logistics markets. Shopping centres now focusing to reinvigorate themselves perhaps on entertainment and F&B. We're seeing growth particularly in the Middle East and in Saudi Arabia in particular around the entertainment sector. Cinemas opening, children's entertainment, 3D, modern entertainment concepts happening. This is something that we see continuing this year and for the future.